Am I the asshole for refusing to go on a long road trip without my mobility aids? I'm using a throwaway account. I'm 25F, my husband is 25M, we have been together for 11 years. Earlier this year my husband's grandmother got diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and she was told she wouldn't make it to 2024. We immediately started saving to go see her. She lives 11 hours away in New York. Now, I'm disabled. It didn't happen all at once, but I've been diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, narcolepsy, PTSD and a few other disorders. This basically means it hurts to be bumped, grabbed, touched, ecked, and that I need to sit down sometimes. My physical illnesses can also be made worse if my mental illnesses are triggered. I utilize a service dog, a cane, wheelchair, or walker. My service dog is almost always with me. I rotate the mobility aids for how I'm feeling. Some days I am fine without the mobility aid. Problems arose recently when I talked about bringing my walker and cane with me. My service dog is already being left behind, as I was told the grandmother didn't like animals in her home. My husband talked about going on a 3-hour-long tour for Ground Zero. I responded along the lines of sounds awesome, I need to make sure I bring my walker for that, and after that it feels like he completely shut down. He told me that his family doesn't believe in invisible illnesses. His mom is also disabled and was basically ridiculed for using medical devices as well. He hinted at wanting me to go without, by telling me that's what his mom did. I told him in short, I am not compromising myself further and risking a flare-up to appease his family. Now, technically I can go without any aid, but I know my body and I would definitely send myself into a flare-up. I'll be on high alert and more painful for the whole trip. I can manage for a short while, with my aids. But with nothing, it's a recipe for disaster. The last flare-up I had about 2 weeks ago left me bedbound for 2 days, and unable to even go to the bathroom on my own. I also had an unexplained day-long fever of 103. I would need to be hospitalized. I asked him how his family would deal with a flare-up while I was up there, then, and got no reply. He told me we just shouldn't go. I asked him to at least talk to his family, but kept getting that same response. I sent him a text overnight telling him that he can go without me, but that I again won't be making myself uncomfortable because his family is ableist. I also learned at some point Anise might be bringing her dog to Negma's house, so that hurt. I'm at a loss. Part of me feels overdramatic and that I should just deal, because this would be the last time I'd be able to see his GMA. But then part of me also feels unsupported, as he's been on this whole medical journey with me. He's seen my flare-ups. Why set me up for failure? Am I the asshole for standing my ground on this? Not the asshole. Your health needs trump everything, especially when you gave him the option to go without you. On a side note, it seems that he himself, even if internally, subscribes to the same notion of invisible illness that he is claiming on behalf of his family. I'm curious to know how his family truly feels about your illness. It might be just him as far as we know. Not the asshole. Whether his family believes in invisible illnesses doesn't matter. If you use and need the mobility aids, you use and need them. Not the asshole. Take them all and stay in a hotel if the grandmother doesn't want a dog staying there. Your husband, Otto, is an asshole for not backing you up. Also look into a mobility scooter. We bought one for my wife that weighs 35 pounds, folds small, holds 350 pounds, and has a fairly long battery life. Even I use it sometimes. I sent him a text overnight telling him that he can go without me. This is the only right answer for you. That family is the poster child for ableism. I mean, who doesn't allow an actual working service dog in their home? And a 3-hour walking tour with your conditions and no walker? That is not a reasonable ask. Not the asshole to stay home. Your husband is a shitty partner. Your husband is the R. There is no reason you should go without your aids. It's irrelevant what his family thinks. Why does your husband make such a thing of this? He needs to defend you. Natar. Not the asshole. No service dog, no mobility aids, no trip. That's on him and his family. They are especially if a pet dog is going to be there. Enjoy your staycation and have a mini just for me weekend. WTF did I just read? Does he give a flying F about you at all? Because it sure does not read like it. Do not go anywhere without your dog or your wheelchair. Don't go to see his grandma. And please take a long, hard look at your relationship because it sounds like he absolutely prescribes to his family's view of disabilities. Which is disgusting, by the way. You have been together since you were 14. This might look normal to you, but it does not sound like it to me. Good luck and not the asshole, of course. Not the asshole. But he doesn't want you to go with him. Sorry, I didn't read it until the end and already have a question for you. Why are you with this selfish and spineless man? I sent him a text overnight telling him that he can go without me. Not the asshole on the issue of the trip, obviously. But why are you texting this to your husband? Does he not live with you? Surely this is the kind of thing that spouses should be able to discuss face to face. Not the asshole. This is literally a part of who you are. If he can't support you, you'll need to see a therapist or something. This isn't a situation that's going to get better through the power of denial or something. Not the asshole. It's totally reasonable for you to want to take your medical aids with you. You even suggested he go without you as a compromise, which I think is also very reasonable. He needs to grow a spine and stand up to his family. Not the asshole. You're not preventing him from visiting his mother at all. You're just not going to go with him under his restrictive conditions that will cause you multiple days of physical pain. That 11-hour trip, is that driving by car? Something where you're forced to sit, and might get bounced and jostled around? The very emotions that really hurt on a bad day for you? By their logic, his mother doesn't really have cancer until she starts getting weak, looking sick, and coughing, having trouble breathing. Until then, it's an invisible illness, right? Not the asshole. He can go without you. Not the asshole. You should not have to put your physical and mental health at risk because your husband's family are bullies. I would be asking husband why he isn't advocating for you and standing up to his abusive family. Not the asshole. Kick your husband in the nuts and then tell him it can't possibly hurt because his family doesn't believe in invisible illnesses. What the heck is wrong with these people? So like cancer, for example, wouldn't be considered a real illness? BTW, I just got back from New York and injured my leg while I was there. It's a terrible city for anyone with mobility issues. I'd stay home rather than travel with someone who isn't going to be of any assistance to you. Your in-laws don't need to believe that you have these illnesses, but your husband does have to advocate for you. If he won't, take that for what it is. Not the asshole, but this would be a deal breaker for me. His family may not believe in invisible illnesses. What does that even mean? If your illness makes you limp or not be able to walk, isn't that visible? But him standing up for them and trying to make you go without a necessary medical device means that he doesn't believe in them either. Strike one is not believing someone's experience, especially your wife or family member. Strike two is not believing science and research. Strike three is wanting your wife to suffer regardless of the reasons. I would ditch the husband as well as the family, forever. Not the asshole. If you need mobility aids, then take them. What do they know about your needs that you don't? Don't they want to be seen with disabled people? It comes down to one thing: are you going to pander to the bizarre whims of ignorant ours? Your choice. Not the asshole. But also, if your disabilities mean you need mobility aids, that is not invisible. They may not accept the diagnosis, but that is some major BS. He is being ableist too. You cannot be without your accommodations. That is ridiculous to an extreme degree. He and his family sound like absolute assholes. I hate ableism.